So, a little off topic, Amanda, what do you do if you have a resentment at someone that goes to the same meeting as you?
Okay, perfect story for this. I used to go to this Zoom meeting, and as you know, in another episode, I mentioned that I paint when I'm on Zoom meetings. Now, I was painting at this Zoom meeting, and somebody turned my camera off so that I wasn't a distraction.
That's so
Because
annoying.
apparently I was a distraction while I was painting, even though my paintings are very small. I'm not doing big brush strokes. I'm just doing little tiny detailed brush strokes. Very tiny. And so I stopped going to that meeting.
Honestly,
I stopped going to that meeting because that person, actually a couple people, were driving me crazy with that. And they weren't driving me crazy. I was driving myself crazy because no one can make me feel anything but myself. And I stopped going to that meeting. I started going to other Zoom meetings, found better Zoom meetings that fit more for me, that allowed me to paint while I was in the Zoom meeting. And yeah, I've only recently started going back to that meeting because I have someone that I'm working with in my program of recovery that goes to that meeting. And then after that meeting on Zoom, we meet on Zoom and we work on our program together.
let me point out when I go to a meeting and someone annoys me. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm sorry. I thought I had something good. I didn't.
No. Also, like, if I am annoyed with somebody at a meeting, it's probably because they're doing something that I can see myself doing in themselves.
Which annoys you even more.
It does. It annoys me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I so would not do that. But then in my mind, I'm like, Amanda, you do that all the time.
Oh my God, I get
Like,
so
oh my
irritated.
gosh. It's frustrating. It's annoying. There are some meetings that give out resentment chips, where if you feel a resentment towards a person, place, thing, or institution, you pick up this chip. They vary from meeting to meeting. In some meetings they're black, others they're white, or blue, or red, or whatever. And you pick it up, and what you do is you pray for that person, place, thing, institution.
To die.
That's for you, Joey. You pray for that person, place, thing, institution to have everything you would want for yourself to have for them. So you do the opposite of writing them on a death note. You
I've been
put
doing
them
that.
on a prayer note, basically, and you pray for them every day
Till that resentment goes
till the
away.
resentment goes away. And then you return the chip and you're free.
At our meetings, we do see people return that chip after a couple weeks. Sometimes it takes a couple months. But I think the important thing is we grow. We grow through those problems because they're not problems. It's more with ourselves in the bigger picture. So if you're having a really bad day, why would a meeting help instead of just drinking after that day, Amanda?
If you're having a really bad day,
Like a really bad day.
if you're having a really crappy day and you think that a drink or a drug is going to make it better, my suggestion is go to a meeting. The meeting is going to help because you can reach out in the meeting and say, hey, I'm struggling hardcore today.
You can really bitch.
Yeah, I want a drink, I want a drug, I want a whatever. And I could really use some assistance today. And it's good to do that because after the meeting, people will come up to you to talk to you about what's going on. And not only that, but they'll give you their numbers so you can reach out to them if you're ever feeling this way again. And that is just strengthening that core connection with the fellowship and with that community that I was talking about earlier, that society in general needs to have, but we have in our programs of recovery.
Also, a good story. Someone came to a meeting that was really struggling and took us all out to eat for a $160 meal. And after that, he didn't want to drink, and we all got free meals. So, something to think about.
Okay.
Amanda, I think going out to eat with your friends that you meet at meetings, which is fellowship, is pretty incredible too.
It is, depending on where you are located in the world. really vary how much fellowship you do. Where I'm at, there are some times for fellowship. Where I was before in New York, nobody ever fellowshipped. It was really sad, so I'd have to drive 20, 30 minutes in the opposite direction to fellowship with somebody or with multiple people. And that'd be like once or twice a month because it was in a city. Now, here, we're in Winter Garden. We're close to Orlando. So there's plenty of things to do. Things are open for all sorts of hours because we're near Orlando. Fellowshipping isn't that difficult down here. It's just, it can be difficult finding the people to come and fellowship with you.
So, Amanda, what is the longest you ever drove to an AA meeting?
3 hours.
Oh my God. So if Amanda could drive 3 hours to a meeting, you could drive 15 minutes. Also, tell us about that. 3 hours.
Yes. So, I was living in New York State, and I had a friend at the time who wanted to go to Pennsylvania to go to a meeting. And at the time, I geocached. I don't know if you know what geocaching is. Geocaching is this thing where you go online or you go to the app that they have, the geocaching app, and you will look at the place you're going and see if there are any geocaches near you. Now, what it'll do is it'll tell you the longitude and latitude numbers. So you put that in your GPS, and then you go to that location and you look around for little boxes or canisters, like military canisters, and you find it and you open it up and there's a log where you can put your name, the date, and put it back in. And sometimes they have little trinkets. So if you have a trinket, say I have this ring I'm wearing and I want to trade this ring I'm wearing for something I see in the trinket box. I can trade my ring for whatever's in the trinket box. Only one thing though. And so we went to go to actually a couple of meetings. We went to 2 or 3 meetings that day in Pennsylvania. And while we were waiting for each meeting, we geocached. So it was a whole day of recovery, just me and my friend Joey. Oddly enough, not this Joey. So many Joes up in New York State. Lots of Joes.
Also, another idea, even if you're driving a long ways to a meeting, you can make plans around where you're going, right? So if you work in a different area and there's a meeting by your work, you can go there after work. But you might not want people seeing you go to meetings where you work.
Yeah.
What about if you go to a meeting and still want to drink after the meeting, Amanda?
Okay, so if you still want to use after you're done with the meeting that you just got to, then I suggest getting a hold of your sponsor or a closed-mouthed friend or someone who understands what you're going through and talking to them. Maybe go to another meeting too, because I can count on one hand how many bad meetings I've gone to where I felt worse after the meeting than before the meeting. Another thing is be of service. Like, if you're walking in a city and you see this old woman trying to cross the street, help her cross the street. That's being of service. You don't just have to be of service by making coffee.
Move a muscle, change a thought.
Yeah, move a muscle, change a thought. Exactly.
Also, another thing, when I started going to meetings, my personality became so more attractive. People asked me what I was doing. I would ask some more questions, and some people might be struggling with the same thing you are. That's service to not only you, but also them.
Yeah, valid point.